Chosen one, do you feel it? Something is moving in the invisible realm, a force that few can perceive, but that's already transforming everything. The wealth transfer has begun, and you have been called to receive it. This is not a coincidence. Nothing happens by chance. The universe has already determined the right time, and that time is now. Doors that were once locked are opening. Paths that seemed impossible are being prepared for you. No matter what they said, no matter what you've faced, you're about to enter a new cycle where abundance will no longer be a distant dream, but an inevitable reality. Have you felt this change in the air? There's something different, something profound happening inside you. A silent but powerful voice is whispering to your heart, get ready, because when this tide of blessings moves, it will come like a rushing river, sweeping away all limitations, fears, and doubts. But before continuing, I need you to declare your connection with this message. Leave an I receive in the comments and like this video now. This isn't just an action, it's an act of faith, a sign to the universe that you're ready for transformation. Now, open your heart, for your journey toward wealth and abundance begins here. Since the dawn of humanity, wealth has always followed an invisible flow, moving like a river among those who are prepared to receive it. Great empires rose and fell, fortunes were built and dissipated, but one truth never changed. Abundance always finds those who are ready to embrace it. Now, an unprecedented shift is happening. The cycle is breaking. The flow of prosperity is transferring to new hands. But this isn't an ordinary transition. It's a calling, a divine call echoing in eternity, separating those who still live, trapped in limitations, from those who dare to believe they were made for something greater. You feel it, don't you? That restlessness in your spirit, that inexplicable vibration that something grand is about to happen. As if the universe itself were preparing you, as if all the difficulties you faced until today were merely training for this moment. Have you noticed how the signs around you have begun to change? Small coincidences that seem perfectly aligned, doors that seemed closed beginning to open. This is not coincidence. Nothing happens by chance. You are not here now by accident. You didn't find this message by mistake. Something greater brought you here because the time has come to awaken to your true identity. You weren't born to struggle eternally. You weren't born to survive on crumbs, to just dream of a better life and then return to the reality of scarcity and limitations. You were born to inherit fullness, to live in abundance and experience everything that has been reserved for you. But there's something essential you need to understand. Wealth isn't just money. Abundance is a state of existence. It's a level of consciousness. It's living knowing that you don't need to chase after things because everything that's yours is already coming your way. It's having peace, purpose, and unlimited resources, knowing that nothing can prevent what has already been written about your life. The only question echoing in the universe now is, are you ready to receive? If you've made it this far, something inside you already knows the truth. You have been chosen. No matter what they said, no matter what the reality around you tries to show, inside you there is a calling to something greater. This calling is intensifying because the time has come. The wealth transfer isn't a theory, it's a prophecy that's being fulfilled. Those who have been trapped in scarcity for generations are being freed. Those who have always been left behind are being elevated, and those who dare to believe are about to witness miracles the world has never seen before. It's not just about hard work, talent, or external opportunities. It's about alignment. Whoever is in the right frequency, whoever opens their heart to this transformation, will see doors opening where before there were only walls. Perhaps you've faced years of difficulties. Perhaps you've been tested, betrayed, discredited. But all of this was just preparation. No great movement happens without resistance. No blessing manifests without first being tested. But now, listen carefully. The time of testing is ending. The release of abundance has begun and is moving toward those who are ready. And how do you prepare? You begin by accepting this truth. You begin by declaring with your own mouth that abundance is already yours, that you've broken through all barriers and are ready to receive. Because it's not about whether you deserve it or not. It was never about deservingness. It's about identity. It's about understanding that you've always been an heir, always had this wealth waiting for you. And now, all you need to do is open your spiritual eyes and see. The signs are already around you. Opportunities have already begun to emerge. The movement has already begun. Now it's your turn. Are you ready to take the next step? Abundance doesn't arrive without warning. Before the transfer happens completely, signs begin to appear, and only those who are attentive can recognize them. The universe, God, divine energy, whatever name you give to this greater force, has already begun to align everything so that you receive what is yours. But pay attention. Signs don't always appear in the way we expect. Often change begins with discomfort. Things that no longer serve your life begin to fall apart. People who aren't aligned with your purpose drift away. Opportunities that seemed secure simply disappear. It may seem that everything is falling apart, but in reality, it's exactly the opposite. Everything is reorganizing for something much greater. Have you noticed how certain situations in your life have begun to change without explanation? Have you felt that some doors have closed, but something inside you says it's because other, much larger ones are about to open? This is one of the first signs of manifestation. Another clear sign that the transfer is happening is the inner awakening. Suddenly, what once seemed impossible begins to feel accessible. You feel a new mental clarity, a growing desire for change, an inexplicable certainty that something big is coming. This internal transformation is the preparation so that you're ready to hold the blessings that are already on their way. And now I ask you, have you noticed these signs in your life? Because if the answer is yes, it means that abundance is already moving in your direction. The transfer of abundance doesn't happen silently. The universe always sends signals, and those who are awake can see them. But there's an important detail. These signals don't always come in the way we expect. Many imagine that the signs of prosperity are always positive, like unexpected gains, opportunities falling from the sky, or doors opening effortlessly. Yes, these signs exist, and they will come. But before that, the process might begin more subtly and even challengingly. Because before abundance can enter, certain blockages need to be removed. This means that some situations may seem like a test. You might notice that people who were once close begin to distance themselves, that certain plans don't turn out as expected, or that the path you were following with confidence suddenly becomes uncertain. But don't be deceived. This isn't a setback. It's a restructuring. The universe is clearing the ground so that something much greater can emerge. Another clear sign is the awakening of your intuition. You begin to feel a new connection with your own essence. Things that once seemed distant begin to make sense. A new energy is born within you, an inexplicable certainty that something big is about to happen. Have you noticed this? A sudden increase in your perception, feelings of déjà vu, powerful thoughts about your own journey. This happens because before wealth manifests in the physical world, it's already being generated in the invisible realm. You're already being prepared to hold it, and this preparation isn't just mental, it's spiritual. Your vibration is changing. Your desires are aligning with your purpose. You begin to feel different because you're becoming the person you were always destined to be. And there's one more unmistakable sign that abundance is moving in your direction. Time accelerates. Things begin to happen quickly. Opportunities arise unexpectedly. New people enter your life bringing messages, ideas, or paths you never considered before. What once seemed distant suddenly becomes possible. You realize that the right connections appear at the exact moment. This means you're no longer in the waiting phase. You're in the transition phase. And in this phase, there's something essential you need to do. Be ready to act. Because when the door opens, there will be no time for hesitation. When the opportunity arrives, you'll need to seize it firmly and move forward without fear. Abundance is already moving. The wealth transfer has already begun. But something needs to be said. Not everyone will be able to receive it. Not because they're unworthy, but because they're still trapped in invisible blockages that prevent the flow of prosperity. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract wealth easily, while others struggle their entire lives without getting anywhere? It's not just about hard work. It's not just about talent. It's about alignment. Wealth doesn't chase after anyone. It's attracted. And the question you need to ask yourself now is, what might be blocking the flow of abundance in my life? The first major blockage is the scarcity mindset. If, deep down, you believe that money is difficult to earn, that opportunities are rare, or that only a few people can prosper, then that will be your reality, because your mind is a magnet. What you believe you attract. If your energy is stuck in the fear of lack, the fear of losing, the fear that it will never be enough, then the universe will continue bringing situations that confirm these beliefs. But here's the truth. Money isn't scarce. Abundance has no limits. The only limitation that exists is the one your mind has accepted as truth, and that limitation needs to be broken now. Another invisible blockage is attachment to the past. Have you noticed how many people who faced financial difficulties continue carrying these stories for years? They live trapped in what they lost, what didn't work out, what they suffered in the past. But what they don't realize is that by doing this, they continue reaffirming scarcity and preventing the arrival of something new. You need to understand, your past doesn't define your future. What happened before has no power over what's being built now. The flow of wealth is always in motion, and everything can change in an instant. But first, you need to allow it to happen. Abundance is already here. The universe is already ready to deliver. But are you ready to receive? The first thing that needs to be broken is resistance to change. Many people desire prosperity, but when life begins to move towards something new, they retreat. The unknown frightens. The comfort zone, even when it doesn't bring happiness, seems safe. But listen well, abundance requires movement. If you want to receive more, you need to be willing to transform. Those who cling to the old cannot hold the new. Another invisible blockage is unconscious guilt about wealth. From an early age, many people were taught to see money as something negative. Phrases like, money doesn't bring happiness, the rich are greedy, money is dirty, were repeated so many times that they became engraved in the mind. And what happens? These beliefs create an energetic barrier. Even without realizing it, the person repels prosperity because, deep down, they believe that being rich might make them a bad person. But this isn't true. Money doesn't corrupt anyone. It only amplifies who the person already is. If you're generous with money, you can help even more. If you have a good heart, you can transform lives. Abundance isn't just for you. It's so that you can overflow into the lives of others. So stop feeling guilty. Prosperity is your divine inheritance. Now there's one last blockage that needs to be eliminated: doubt. Doubt weakens your connection with abundance. If you say you want prosperity, but deep down don't believe it can happen to you, then you yourself are closing the doors. You need to decide now, I receive this wealth transfer. Say it out loud. Feel it inside you, because when you believe, the universe responds. And now the final piece, action. Nothing changes without action. You can't just wish. You need to move in the direction of abundance. Opportunities will arise, paths will open, but you need to be ready to take the step when the moment comes. The wealth transfer has already begun. The only question that remains is, are you ready to hold it? Chosen one, listen carefully. Prosperity isn't something you seek, it's something you become. Wealth has already been released in the spiritual world. The river of abundance is already flowing. But for you to be able to hold what is yours, you need to be aligned with this truth. What you believe about yourself determines what you receive. If deep down you feel unworthy, that you weren't born to have more, that prosperity is something distant, then that will be your reality. But if you understand that you were created to reign, that God has already written your victory, that abundance is already yours by right, then there is no force capable of preventing what is coming. The Bible says, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he." Do you understand this? The mind is the key. Prosperity begins internally before manifesting externally. You cannot live in abundance if you still think like someone who fears lack. You cannot hold blessings if you still doubt they really belong to you. God did not create you for scarcity. Gold and silver belong to the Lord, and He never planned for His children to live in misery. The earth was created with infinite riches. The universe operates in a constant flow of growth and multiplication. The planted seed becomes a fruit-bearing tree. The river follows its course and never stops flowing. Why would it be different with you? Scarcity doesn't come from God. It comes from the limited mentality that has been imposed over the years. But today, that mentality is being broken. Today, a new understanding is being released over your life. Prosperity isn't something you need to chase after. It's already available. You just need to adjust your spiritual vision to see what has already been decreed for you. And this transformation begins now. God never wanted you to live in scarcity. The mentality of lack was imposed by fear, circumstances, and human limitations. But the original plan was always abundance. From the beginning, you were created to grow, multiply, and dominate. This means that wealth is already part of your identity. But see what happens. Many people pray for prosperity, but remain trapped in thoughts of limitation. They ask for changes, but live as if nothing will happen. They desire harvests, but plant seeds of doubt and disbelief. And then they wonder, why doesn't my life change? The answer is simple. You can only live what you believe is possible. If deep down you still see yourself as small, if you still feel unworthy, if you still feel you need to fight for every small victory as if there were nothing more reserved for you, then you yourself are blocking the manifestation of abundance. But this ends now. God has already declared, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you." This means that prosperity isn't a coincidence, isn't a possibility, it's a promise. And for this promise to be fulfilled in your life, you need to start acting like someone who has already received. Those with a prosperity mindset don't walk with their heads down, don't live complaining, don't see life as a cycle of losses and defeats. Those with a prosperity mindset position themselves. They speak like someone who has already won. They walk with the certainty that everything is already happening, because faith doesn't wait to see to believe. Faith knows it has already received. And now I ask you, how have you been positioning yourself before your promise? Are you waiting for the miracle to happen before believing, or are you already living as someone who knows they were called to a destiny of greatness? Those who adjust their minds to prosperity not only receive wealth, they become a channel for that wealth to flow. Because God doesn't just pour blessings on you, He makes you a distributor of abundance. When you prosper, your family prospers, your generation prospers. You become a connection point between heaven and earth. And that's why you were called for this moment. The wealth transfer has already begun, and those who understand this truth will be the first to receive. What's coming to you isn't just for your life. It's to transform everything around you. Chosen one, listen carefully. Faith without action is like a key that's never placed in the lock. The door of abundance is already before you, but you need to turn the key. Many expect prosperity to simply fall from the sky, but they don't understand that God Himself established an immutable principle. Faith needs to be accompanied by movement. Look at the story of the great men and women who prospered in God's word. None of them just waited. They acted. Abraham had faith, but needed to leave the land where he was. Moses had faith, but needed to raise his staff and take the first step before the sea opened. The widow who had her vessels filled with oil needed to seek the jars before the miracle happened. This means that abundance has already been decreed for you, but God is waiting for your movement. It's not about desperately chasing money. It's not about striving in vain. It's about acting aligned with the promise. True faith doesn't wait for everything to be perfect to begin. It moves before seeing. You need to start acting like someone who has already received. Want prosperity? Start behaving like a prosperous person. Want new opportunities? Start preparing for them now. Want doors to open? Then walk toward them with the certainty that they are already unlocked. Many people are standing still, waiting for a sign, waiting for everything to be guaranteed before they move. But listen well, the greatest sign has already been given. The call has already been made. The transfer has already begun. Now the only thing missing is your action. Chosen one, what's happening now isn't just a promise, it's a fulfillment. Have you noticed how something inside you has changed? How your vision is no longer the same? How your mind is expanding to something greater? This is proof that the transformation has already begun. Before wealth arrives in the physical world, it first needs to manifest within you. Before money enters your hands, your mentality needs to be ready to hold it. Before opportunities appear, your posture needs to be that of someone who is prepared to receive them. And now the signs are clear. The proof of change is already around you. Have you felt that certain things that made sense before no longer fit in your life? That old habits, limiting thoughts, and even some people are moving away? This is not a coincidence. What isn't aligned with your new reality is being removed. What no longer serves your purpose is being replaced. If you feel you're in the middle of this process, understand that it's a sign. God is preparing you to hold something greater, something you've never experienced before. But something needs to be said. Many at this moment turn back. When they realize that the change is real, that the world around begins to respond to the new frequency they're emitting, they get scared. The unknown seems intimidating. But listen, the proof of change doesn't come to make you retreat. It comes to confirm that you're on the right path. True faith doesn't just wait, it moves. God has already released abundance, but He expects you to position yourself to receive it. What you do today determines what you reap tomorrow. Many say they trust God, but remain standing still, trapped in doubt, indecision, the fear of making mistakes. But listen, those who have faith don't fear. Those who have faith advance. The Bible says, faith without works is dead. This means that just believing isn't enough. You can declare every day that wealth is coming, that prosperity is already yours. But if your actions don't reflect that belief, nothing will change. Because God blesses movement, look at what happens when a seed is planted. At first, nothing seems to change. The earth remains the same. The soil looks the same. But something is happening in the invisible. The root is forming, life is expanding beneath the soil. Until one day, without warning, the first sprout breaks the surface. So it is with your life. Every action you take in the direction of abundance is like a planted seed. At first, you may not see the results. It may seem that nothing is happening, but in the invisible, growth has already begun. If you remain firm, the harvest will be inevitable. Now I ask you, what seed are you planting? Is what you do daily bringing you closer to or further from your promise? Are you acting like someone who has already received, or are you still trapped in the mentality of waiting? True faith doesn't ask permission. It decides, it advances, it claims. When you move, believing you've already received, the universe responds. God moves the heavens to align the right opportunities. Doors open, connections emerge, paths that didn't exist before begin to appear. But none of this happens until you take the first step. And today, you have a choice. Continue waiting or rise up and act. Abundance is already available. The time has already come. Now, everything depends on you. Listen carefully. What's happening now is a divine sign that you've already left the old reality. You're no longer the same person you were before. Your words have changed, your vision has changed, your energy has changed. This means your life is also about to change. But here's something few understand. The proof of change doesn't always come in the form we expect. Sometimes before the harvest, the tests intensify. People may doubt your growth. Circumstances may seem challenging. But listen, this isn't a setback, it's confirmation that you're already at a new level. The physical world always resists when a transformation happens in the spiritual. This means that when you're about to receive something grand, everything around you may seem unstable. But what you need to understand is that this instability isn't a sign of failure, it's a sign of transition. The old is being undone so that the new can enter. Now I ask you, can you perceive the signs? Do you feel that something inside you no longer accepts life as before? Do you feel that you're being pushed towards something greater, even if you still can't see all the details? If your answer is yes, then your transformation has already begun. And there's something powerful you need to know. Those who resist change remain trapped in the past. But those who accept movement are the ones who enter into abundance. You weren't called to turn back. You weren't called to remain in the same place. You were called to grow, to expand, to prosper. So now, take this truth for yourself. What's coming is greater than everything that was left behind. What you're about to experience will be the final confirmation that God has already decreed your prosperity. The only thing you need to do now is keep moving forward, because abundance is already reaching you. Chosen one, the time of waiting is over. Everything you've gone through until now was preparation. Each challenge, each fall, each moment of uncertainty served to shape you, to make you strong enough to hold what is already yours. The wealth transfer is no longer a distant promise. It's happening now. And at this moment you have just one choice: to receive or to refuse. Because listen well, no one can take from you what God has already declared as yours. No force can prevent the manifestation of what was written in heaven about your life. Abundance has already been decreed. Prosperity is already in motion, but only those who believe and position themselves will be able to hold it. The question that remains is, are you ready to claim your inheritance? The biggest trap at this moment is doubt. Many reach this phase and begin to hesitate. The enemy tries to cast thoughts of fear. What if it's not real? What if nothing changes? But listen, doubt is the only thing that can delay what's already coming. God has already released it. The universe is already responding to your new frequency. The tide of abundance has already begun to move in your direction. Now it's your turn to accept. Declare with conviction, I receive, I accept, I claim what is mine. Feel this truth taking over your being. See your life changing. Imagine yourself living this new reality. Because everything is already being realigned for this to happen. The universe has already heard your declaration. Heaven has already registered your request. Now, everything around you will begin to align to manifest the abundance that was destined for you. But there's something fundamental you need to understand. Receiving isn't just waiting, it's acting like someone who has already received. This means that from this moment on, you need to walk like someone who knows that prosperity is inevitable. Your posture, your words, your decisions, everything must reflect the certainty that the wealth transfer has already begun in your life. The right opportunities will arise. Money will begin to flow from unexpected sources. The connections you need will come to you. But when this happens, you need to be ready to hold on. Don't let fear stop you. Don't return to the old mentality. The time of scarcity is over. The time of endless struggle has ended. Now you enter the time of fullness. God's word declares, "If you are willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land." This means that abundance has always been available, but only those who decide to accept this truth can experience it. And you've already made that decision. You've already been chosen to live in this new time. Now, your only task is to stand firm and keep moving forward. What is yours is already on its way. Receive, believe, live this new reality. Chosen one, this wasn't just a message, it was a calling. A call for you to rise up, for you to accept what is already yours, to live the abundance that God prepared for your life. Now everything depends on your faith and your positioning. If this word spoke to your heart, declare in the comments, "I receive." Write with faith, because when you declare, you manifest. And if you feel that this message can transform someone you love, share it. Be a channel for this truth to reach more lives.